Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Glad to have you here. Today we're going to be looking at not a quick battle, but I hopped into the multiplayer, just lobbies, and I hopped into this 2v2, and it ended up being Dwarves versus the Empire. And this is a fun matchup, and just a very interesting map here. Um, so definitely things to be aware of in this map is this river here. And so small units will not be able to fight. They'll lose 80% of their effectiveness in the shallow water. Um, and large units will not be able to fight very well in the trees. They will lose 80% of their attack value unless they're like beastmen or something. And this map has two nice hills with a little no man's hell in the middle. And so yeah, now we'll go over the armies. So I brought a slightly altered version of my dwarf army. I have 4 dwarf warriors in the front, 2 on the sides. I got the longbeards with great weapons and the grumbling guard. I have the goblobber and the grudge thrower because artillery seems to be a little bit more effective in a 2v2 just because it's harder to get at it. There's just more units on the field to protect it. And so definitely a much better investment in a 2v2 scenario than in a 1v1 scenario where they can get sniped out pretty quick. I have 4 rangers, and in the back I have 2 miners and my dragonback slayers. Now, my ally brought a very strange army here. 2 units of iron breakers, and they're going to be deployed near me. He's going to have 4 gyro bombers up in the air. And he has a flank of hammerers and just a regular lord here. And so when I see that, I'm not very hopeful about our chances. Let's go look at the Empire army. So they've got 4 greatswords. They kind of mixed in their deployment. They got 4 greatswords over here, 2 handgunners, 1 demigryph knight hidden away in the forest. Definitely something to be watching out for. They have a celestial wizard on the Pegasus. They've got 2 more handgunners, a crossbowman, 2 more greatswords, and 3 halberdiers. They've got Volkmar the Grim on his horse here, and they've got an Empire captain on his horse, and they've got the general of the Empire up here on a griffin. So I definitely like this army, and they have the most impressive artillery formation that I've seen. They have 3 Hellstorm rocket batteries and 3 great cannons. So they definitely have us outmatched, and my poor 2 grudge throwers are going to get destroyed here. But so what's going to happen is when I kind of see what this is looking like, I'm going to start moving my troops here into the forest to start stopping some of the damage off of these Hellstorm rocket batteries. And my grudge throwers are out of range because they don't have the best range. Generally, Empire artillery outranges them, so that's something to be aware of. Devastating volley there on my rangers before I can move them. Definitely not what I want to happen, especially when they have such a strong mountain position here. You can see all the fire coming in. I'm rushing my troops down to the forest to give them some cover. I'm running my slayers off to this side. I don't want them getting any collateral damage here if I can stop it. So I'm going to be opening fire here on, I think, yeah, this Hellstorm rocket battery. What would have been a smart move on this map is if I had forward deployed my rangers to spawn or start in this forest. I think that would have been a really good move, especially when the Empire has such a powerful starting position up here. You can pretty reliably guess that they're going to be up on that hill. So the rangers wouldn't be in too much of danger. You can see the Celestial Wizard here scouting out the Dwarven army. That's a good move. The gyrocopter's giving chase. They're not going to catch a Pegasus, sadly. But here you can see I'm doing some good damage, but I'm not hitting the artillery pieces themselves, so they are not getting shut down, and they're going to continue firing here on my grudge throwers. I think all of these guys are hidden now. So they're hidden in the trees, so his only target here is the grudge throwers, and they're definitely a threat. Oh, you see that horribly powerful shot there. Hellstorm rocket batteries do deal a lot of damage. So here, I'm going to kick them off their mounts here because of the routing. But I don't think I'm going to be destroying their pieces, so they can come back here. But any ammo I can stop by destroying one of these things is an amazing. I just need as much ammo off the field as possible. So we're going to look over here. Oh, we missed it. There's a bombing run here, on a suicide bombing run on these greatswords. And with the handgunners around, these gyro bombers are not going to last long. Always, and you gotta line up. They're really hard to line up. I really can't do it, and they take a lot of micromanagement. So let's see if we can find a good bomb drop here. They are firing their little machine gun out front. But with the handgunners around, they're not going to be doing much good at all. I am going to move my rangers up, and right now that they're in range, they had stock, so now they're going to be able to fire and get a couple volleys in. I have 2 in the forest and 2 out here. And I'm going to try and get these guys out of here. You see all those guys already dead. These greatswords are going to get downhill charges against these hammerers, and they'll do pretty well. But you can see here, I'm going to be doing some significant damage here to these Hellstorm rocket batteries, and I'm going to be moving my Slayers up to help defend my Rangers. Routed them off the Hellstorm rocket battery. Exactly what I want. Exactly what I need to do when assaulting a superior position here. So you see here the hammer is losing pretty badly, especially with Volkmar's added buffs here and the downhill charge. They're going to slaughter these poor dwarves. Hammers getting charged by Demigryph Knights. Not how you want hammers to be used here. Oh, these are just Longbeards, sorry. Longbeards. And that's going to do a lot of damage to them. So, my Grudge Thrower, you can still see it's still firing. I think this one, it has a goblin on it. I never get tired of this, seeing the goblin tumble through the air. What am I aiming at? I think I'm going through these greatswords now, trying to get them off the field. Oh, and it's going to miss. So sad. Anyways, so, we almost missed the action. My Rangers, he's going to bring his General of the Empire down into my Rangers, but my Slayers are going to be there to punish him for doing this. I think my other Rangers are also shooting at him, so we should be dealing some significant damage. I've put the Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin here, and he's using his Captain to come out here and start damaging these guys. So my Slayers are a bit exposed here, just because they're out here and they're killing this unit, but the General of the Empire is a huge armor-piercing damage dealer for the Empire. And so I really, really need to get him off the field if I have any chance of winning this battle. But you can see I did significant damage there. And now I'm going to move my Slayers over into this Empire Captain and try and get him off the field. We'll hop over here. You can see the Dwarven player dealing some damage, but getting wrapped up from the repeated charges of the Demigryph Knights and the huge amount of armor-piercing damage. The handgunners flanking around to get some side shots. It's not looking good. Where are his iron breakers? Oh, they're moving here through the forest, trying to be sneaky. They're heavy sets of armor. Problem with the dwarves is they do not move quickly. So yeah, I'm going to swarm this guy here with some dwarf warriors and with my Slayers. Oh, devastating hit there to the Slayers, but I need to get his mobility off the field if I'm going to harass him down the hill with these Rangers. And so I'm opening fire here, definitely firing at the handgunners with all of my ammo that I have left. I need to get those guys off the field. Now that I remember that they have such a devastating artillery, devastating cannon shots right there, I'm going to separate my dwarf warriors here and try and just leave my Slayers in combat to finish off this Empire Captain. So you can see this is nice for me. I'm dealing damage to the handgunners, and if I miss, I'm dealing damage to the halberdiers. Over on this side, the handgunners are going to retreat after cleaning up the hammers. And so my ally is basically gone at this point. My Slayers just finished off the captain, but they're taking some fire. That's definitely not where I want them, so I'm going to be pulling them back soon. But they've done their job, and I hadn't noticed the Demigryph Knights with halberds. So I figured they didn't have any other large units on the field, so dealing with the captain and the general was really why I brought them, and so I really didn't care too much about them from now on. Ooh, shots in there with my Gobblauer. He did rout off the field, but I brought them back from routing and remounted them here. They don't actually have that much ammo. These guys, you see, all their artillery pieces are dead, so they are useless now. You can see, even though he has the uphill advantage, I'm still doing some damage. And the trees are protecting me from a lot of the artillery barrages, a lot of the handgunner fire. Oh yeah, I think this is it. The Iron Breaker is getting chewed apart, charged at the flank, and then shot in the back. Great use of handgunners here. Great use of your higher mobility units, just your faster units. Here you can see Rune of Wrath and Ruin coming off here on these great swords. I'm trying to get as much damage as I can off on these guys. So I'm going to be spamming that whenever I have the chance, just to get the cooldown started again. And now that he's running down the hill at me, he realizes I have the skirmish advantage. Or at least I used to. I'm running out of ammo. I'm going to run back across the river here and get the engagement I want. The downhill charge into the kind of river bit. And so this is what you want to do when they're camping on a hill. You just got to force them to move, keep them moving, and bring them down. And do that because they have, they want to stay up there. You can go anywhere you want, and you can force them where you want them to go. Oh, devastating volley from the Hellstorm rocket battery, flattening my dwarves. Definitely not what I want. And so I moved my ranges around here because they were out of ammo. I moved them around to go maybe charge the handgunners or the artillery pieces. But he saw that, and he really wanted to get those guys. So he's going to start an engagement right here, and I'm going to recharge them with my Dwarven warriors. Shooting into the sides of the halberdiers here. Definitely am afraid of their armor-piercing damage. Rune of Wrath and Ruin coming off here. As much as I can. My ranger's routing, but that's fine. They're out of ammo, and if I can use them to get a rear charge, then they've paid for themselves, especially if they've expended all their ammo. My Slayers here are going to chase after these handgunners, because they are one of the few units in the Dwarven roster who can catch handgunners, and so they're going to charge right into the flank here and just tear these unarmored troops apart. That's what they excel at. And here, I'm going to surround his halberdiers and start cutting them apart with my Dwarven warriors. I'm going to be popping all my damage negation runes. I'm going to move my runesmith around here to buff these guys. And so, this is exactly what I want. Trees blocking the Hellstorm rocket battery shots, stopping the crossbowmen from doing everything they need to do. General of the Empire here coming in for a strike to try and save the handgunners. But my Slayers aren't going to break, right? They're unbreakable, so they're going to deal some damage here before he's able to get out of the area here. And you can see just how much damage my Runes of Wrath and Ruin are doing to these greatswords. Definitely the best target, I think, for the runes. The heavily armored units that are the biggest threat and have large numbers, so the rune will do more damage if there's more units in the unit. It's good vocabulary there. So here you can see the General of the Empire routes, and I'm going to chase him off with my Slayers. And I'm going to start moving out my Quarrelers that I have that are out of ammo to soak up as much damage as I can. I really want him to just open fire on these guys so that my dwarf warriors can survive for longer. Oh god, that was just a horrible... Imagine if you were these dwarves charging up this hill. Things would not be looking good. So I'm going to split them up here. Or actually, I think I'm going to charge them at this Hellstorm rocket battery, try and silence it for good. But you can see the other player is coming around, getting ready to help him defeat me. And I see this, and I look at this army up here, and I have no chance of defeating this guy. If I run straight up the hill at him, he's going to tear me apart with his handgunners, tear me apart with rear charges from the Demigryph Knights. No hope. So I'm going to stay in this forest that's treated me so well thus far, and try and wait out the limited ammo that they have left. So let's take a look here. They have about 3/4 ammo with the handgunners, 3/4 with these. So significant. They're running out of ammo here on this cannon, and on all of the cannons. These crossbowmen are like a third. They have a third left. And so if I can wait out that sort of that ammo, then I think I might, depending on how much damage I take, be able to do something about it. I'm going to be running my Rangers away just so I don't want them to get into an engagement. I just want them to be soaking up ammo. And so I think I have ammo left on one of my Rangers, and so I'm going to be saving that ammo for these handgunners to try and damage them. I didn't see that they had Demigryph Knights on the field. Definitely good use of these guys coming in here, mopping up these units that otherwise would take some ammo to mop up. Yeah, I just had no idea that these were even on the field, and so he popped an amazing ambush on me and wiped out those quarterlers there. So he's targeting his gun units on my Runesmith, and that's a great target. You can see he's doing significant damage. I didn't realize he was out of the forest at this point. I was trying to run my Runes of Wrath and Ruin out here. Oh, yeah, there. See, I'm going to pop my stuff now that I realized he was getting shot to try and save him. And I'm going to run my Rune Lord out here to just try and grab or put a rune on this guy, a Rune of Wrath and Ruin, before he mops up my units entirely. And so, yeah, you can see they've got a lot of armor-piercing damage left. Between the handgunners and the great swords, this is not looking good, especially with their amazing position up on that hill. Here, my Rangers are skirmishing with them, but I realized why skirmish with them? I'm just going to lose ammo by losing dwarves, and so I'm going to move back and move some dwarf warriors up here. Oh, yeah, there. See, I got it. And I'm going to be doing some damage here to these guys as they mop up my Rangers. So any damage I can put on any of their units with my reusable, unlimited number of uses runes is a good thing. He spots some routed Rangers over here with his Celestial Wizard, and so I'm going to move them. Move them back, try and again use them to soak up this handgunner ammo. And you can see here, just again cleaning up stuff. And so yeah, there, I'm going to move my Dwarf Warriors up in as thin of a line as I can get them. I think here he's going to try and... Oh no. Eventually he's going to try and drop a lightning bolt on me. Definitely have to be aware of that and move out of the way. Be quick, watch out for those blue circles that indicate spells. And you can see here just the forest and then the shielded Variants all in the front are really helping negate the damage that could be done with these ranged units. Yeah, they're going to be doing much less damage, but they're still definitely going to be doing damage here to my Dwarf Warriors. But again, if I go out there, I'm going to be picked apart and destroyed. So I have to stay out here. He's going to do this, and I'm ready for it. I'm going to move my dwarves out of the way. A couple of them are going to get caught because they're slow, but none of them are going to die, luckily. And so, he's going to try and skirmish me to, the best of his ability, and I'm going to try and do the same, avoiding damage when at all possible. Popping runes and stuff. You saw me use the Rune of Wrath and Ruin here on this guy because there's nobody else to use it on, and he's not going to be charging down here for a long while. You can see still a lot of ammo on these guys, still ammo on the cannons. Yeah, and Rune of Wrath and Ruin is definitely not a good rune for single target units. That's just because I can. Here I'm going to charge my Quarrelers out, my Rangers out, try and just catch maybe some handgunners, draw some fire. and he's going to move a greatsword in to try and help. I'm going to move my rangers up here. Now I think they fired the last of their ammo as well. And so I'd much rather have the handgunners be shooting at these shielded targets than my dwarf warriors, who will be more helpful late in the game. Again, the rune coming off on this guy. I really want him dead, in case you can't tell. Sorry about that. Here comes the General of the Empire. Very good job of the first Empire player I fought of using this guy, even with his low health, to help the other player. I really like it when the other players stick around and don't quit. Use the last of their troops to their best advantage. But yeah, you can see, just waiting out the storm. Not much to do about that. Just a hail of missile fire coming in. You can see this dwarf warrior is almost dead. All these guys are taking fire. He's starting to rout. I'm going to charge my rangers up here into the cannon. And as they come in here with his greatswords, I'm going to hit him with the Rune of Wrath and Ruin. I'm going to hit him with both of them. And so we're going to just watch as these greatswords just start falling all over the place. Because it's magical damage, their armor doesn't help them too much. Still, there's like 2 units left, and they're still holding strong, and the charge is going to begin. He's going to bring his Demigryph Knights right down the middle, and I'm going to bring my Slayers in to try and counter them. Volkmar the Grim's in there, handgunners in the meat shield, great swords in behind, more great swords, and you can see just the downhill charges here are going to be vicious. He's going to do a good job of here moving his Demigryph Knights in and out of combat, and using Volkmar to buff up all of these troops here. But I'm going to be using my Runesmith to do the same thing. Keep all these guys in here with the 44% damage resistance. And man, these forest battles, they are so difficult to see and control. It is terrible. You definitely have to be on point, look at your unit cards, and see which ones are not in combat, and get them back into combat as soon as possible. So you can see I have my Runesmith covering this side, and my Rune Lord in here fighting against some Halberdiers. I can't afford to just leave him in the back. He needs to be doing damage too, and tearing some of these guys down. My Slayers are in against Volkmar. They'll do pretty good, but there's only about 7 of them left. You can see the orange sprinkled about. And so, oh boy. Yeah, you can see just the surround here going on. He's still got ranged troops. All the abilities coming off here. Volkmar's still pretty healthy. And you can see this blob here. And it is not looking good for my dwarves fighting in this forest. Rune Lord takes a devastating charge from the Demigryph Knights. But on this side, it's looking a little bit better. The great swords are losing. I just got to get Volkmar down, and maybe I have a chance. You can see his Hellstorm rocket battery in here, helping to put in the hurt. My Runesmith, I put them in against the Halberdiers, just because I need to get these guys off the field and bring them around to this blob who is losing. The General of the Empire here, I think, is going to come in soon. He's going to pull Volkmar away from the Slayers and charges Demigryph Knights in again. Definitely good use of those guys coming in and out. And I'm going to turn my Slayer's attention to the Celestial Wizard. But he's going to do a good thing here with Volkmar and come after my Rune Lord. And my Rune Lord, these guys are both basically spellcasters, so they're not full warriors. But with all the buffs he had when he moved in there, he's going to be doing some good damage here against the Rune Lord, but it's a pretty even fight. On this side, you can see the repeated downhill charges, even though it's through his own troops, is going to be doing some work. But my Slayers are nearby, so it's going to make it harder for these Demigryph Knights to pull out. They're finally going to start taking down the Celestial Wizard. He breaks. But this side, I have to be really careful. My Rune Lord is down to about half health. I pull him out of that fight. and I bring him back in against these kind of handgunners and halberdiers and great swords, the weird amalgamation. And so I'm just going to try and get the attack animations to not be on my Rune Lord. On this side, you can see his units have mostly routed, and I need to sweep through here and swing around to rout this battlefield. And at this point, I'm thinking, oh my god, I actually have a chance. And so I'm going to be casting some Runes of Wrath and Ruin on these great swords. I bring the remaining Slayers in to help fight Volkmar. You can see that Slayer in his death animation, even their death animation, kills some units around them. Very nice. Oh, their devastating fire hit his own troops with artillery. Not what you want to do in this critical late stage here. You can see his one remaining handgunner unit is firing into the flank, and I'm going to be moving my runesmith out here to try and deal with him. And you can see just the great swords routing the dwarves in the forest. We're too strong. Volkmar is going to be one of the last units here. With my Rune Lord taking them on, but this time I have my buffs, and so I'm gonna be doing some good damage here. Flying dwarves, I'm launching dwarves, Demigryph Knights. One last charge before they rout off the field. And when this turned in my favor, I was not expecting it at all. I thought my poor dwarves had taken too much fire to stand, but the one key thing was the forest protecting them and their shields, having the shielded ones in front. And so essentially, I think a 2v1 there, with a little bit of damage from my dwarven ally, but definitely mispicked there with the gyro bombers, and definitely misused them by just charging them in against the handgunners. With the handgunners there, they're just gonna die so quickly. Let's take a look. 100 kills on this Longbeard, 60 kills on this Longbeard. Definitely doing some good work there against the greatswords. Two of my Dwarf Warriors did pretty well, but they were so shot up that they really didn't have a chance. I had surprisingly decent kills here in the Goblobber, even though it was targeted by the other artillery really early on. 60 kills here from the Dragonbacks. I'm sure they would have gotten a ton of chevrons. They took down a handgunner unit, they took down the Celestial Wizard, the General of the Empire, helped on Volkmar, and got rid of the Empire Captain. And so definitely pulling their weight there in that battle. And these Rangers did a good job throughout the battle of just like being a meat shield and taking away some ammo from those handgunners. Yeah, you can see good kills here on this Rune Lord. I don't know if it counts the Rune of Wrath and Ruin kills, because I think that was a definite boost here. Helped tear down as those greatswords and the halberdiers in the first engagement, because you can just use it over and over again. So you have to be really careful about how close you get to the dwarves. It has a really short casting range, and is not that hard. Is like not easy to abuse, but if you let your troops get too close and you have multiple engagements, it definitely can be spammed. This is really annoying how they've changed the leaderboard, the end screen here, so you can't click on the other people to see how many kills they got. So CA, please change that. You can see here, not that great kills here on this Hellstorm rocket batteries though, mostly because I was in the trees and they were shooting at the artillery, but very expensive artillery piece here. So thank God there were trees around, or my dwarves would have been annihilated before they even got to the bottom of the hill. Yeah, anyways, good game to my opponents. Really close one, really epic, last stand, 2v1 kind of scenario. And I had a lot of fun on this one. So thanks for watching, and that's that.